Irish literature. Irish literature comprises of writings in Irish, Latin and English including Ulster Scots, languages on the island of Ireland. Irish writing dates from the 7th century and was produced by monks writing in both Latin and Early Irish. Includes a large surviving body of Irish mythological writings and poetry. Major genres of Irish literature: James Joyce, Samuel Beckett, Kate O'Brien, Edna O'Brien, Paul Murray, Anna Burns. Spread of Irish literature and dominancy of Irish over English language. The English language was introduced to Ireland in the 13th century following the Norman invasion of Ireland. The Irish language remained the dominant language of Irish literature down to the 19th century, despite a slow decline which began in the 17th century with the expansion of English power. The latter part of the 19th century saw a rapid replacement of Irish by English in the greater part of the country, largely due to the Great Famine and the subsequent decimation of the Irish population by starvation and emigration. At the end of the century, however, cultural nationalism displayed a new energy marked by the Gaelic revival, which encouraged a modern literature in Irish and more generally by the Irish literary revival. Flourishment of Irish literature. At the end of the 19th century and throughout the 20th century, Irish literature saw an unprecedented sequence of globally successful works, especially those by Oscar Wilde, Bram Stoker, James Joyce, W. B. Yeats, Samuel Beckett, Elizabeth Bowen, C.S. Lewis, Kate O'Brien, and George Bernard Shaw, most of whom left Ireland to make a life in other European countries such as England, Spain, France, and Switzerland. Meantime, the descendants of Scottish settlers in Ulster formed the Ulster Scots writing tradition, having an especially strong tradition of rhyming poetry. Though English was the dominant Irish literary language in the 20th century, much work of high quality appeared in Irish. Major writers and their works in Irish literature. A pioneering modernist writer in Irish was Padraig O'Connell, and traditional life was given vigorous expression in a series of autobiographies by native Irish speakers from the West Coast, exemplified by the work of Thomas O'Creontain and Peg Sayers. Marit Nigheda, who wrote numerous successful plays often influenced by Bertolt Brecht, as well as the first translation of Peter Pan, Ternardio and Manannán, the first Irish-language science fiction book. The outstanding modernist prose writer was Martin O'Callaghan, and prominent poets include Caitlin Moore, Martin O'Donovan, Cian O'Riordan, and Maria Magan Saoirse. Prominent bilingual writers included Brendan Behan, who wrote poetry and a play in Irish, and Flann O'Brien. Two novels by O'Brien, At Swing, Two Birds, and The Third Policeman, are considered early examples of postmodern fiction, but he also wrote a satirical novel in Irish called And Bill Bost. Liam O'Flaherty, who gained fame as a writer in English, also published a book of short stories in Irish. Irish writers who wrote in English were at the forefront of the modernist movement, notably James Joyce's Ulysses, which is considered one of the most important influential works of the century. Irish writers have excelled at short story writing, in particular Edna O'Connor and William Trevor. Other notable Irish writers from the 20th century include poets Evan Boland and Patrick Kavanagh, dramatist Tom Murphy and Brian Farrell, and novelist Edna O'Brien and John McGahan. In the late 20th century, Irish poets, especially from North Ireland, came to prominence, including Derek Mahon, Meg McGuckian, John Mondack, Seamus Heaney, and Paul Muldoon. Well-known Irish writers in English in the 21st century include Edna O'Brien, Colm McCann, Anne Entratt, Roddy Doyle, Moya Cannon, John Boyne, Sebastian Barry, Colm Tolbin, and Bran Villay, all of whom have all won major awards. Younger poets include Sinead Gleeson, Paul Murray, Anna Burns, Billy O'Callaghan, Kevin Barry, Emma Donoghue, Donald Ryan, and dramatist Marina Carr and Martin McDonagh, writing in Irish, has also continued to flourish. Thank you.